first of all, the person who was paying for the record was named Ronnie Phillips. And Ronnie had a best friend, a really close friend named Tweety Bird Loco.
Okay.
Tweety Bird Loco was from Kelly Park in Compton.
Okay.
He was neighbors with Dre and Easy and them cats. And Ronnie was doing a record on a kid named D, and D was a Muslim. And Ronnie wanted to do gangster type music, and D was with it. But when Ronnie started putting naked white women in the videos and stuff like that, D wasn't feeling that. D shook the spot. So Ronnie turned to Tweety Bird. He said, Tweety Bird, you should rap, right? Tweety Bird never would tell you he was a rapper. Okay. But he ended up making a record called he was doing some LL Cool J type rhymes, and Ronnie was like, that's sitting on the bus stop sucking on a lollipop. Well, let's do some gangster shit. Sitting on the bus stop waiting for a bite to drop. Let's do some shit like that. And Tweety Bird took that and ran with it, and he made 187 Drive-By. Okay. Right? Which is a pretty legendary record when you look I read an interview with Scarface, and Scarface said that was his favorite record. Wow. Right? So, that being said, Tweet comes up with the idea, man, let's do a Bangin' on Wax record, right? Let's do that. And Ronnie was like, you know what? That ain't a bad idea, right? So the whole concept came from Tweety's brain, and he was actually the catalyst for bringing a lot of the hoods there. Okay. Tweet was the man. Okay. Whether he got properly credited or not, it's not the issue. I'm telling you, it all came out of Tweet's brain. Okay. Because I was working with Ronnie before everybody. Okay. Right. What was you doing with Ronnie back then? Engineering. Okay. Right. Working with him actually. So we do this record at Leon Haywood's joint on Crenshaw and Rodeo, which was called, actually people called it Eve Gym because that was the name of Leon's label. But the actual name of the recording studio was Sunnyside. Sunnyside, okay. Right, it is now a Korean hair store. First day of the session, I'm there, because I'm the engineer, I'm always there first. I'm there, and a gang of Bloods come in there, like a gang of Red Rags. It was Stretch from Bounty Hunters, Big Y from Inglewood, from Family, Crenshaw Mafia niggas, the homies from the Southsiders from Compton. It was just a gang of cats, some cats from PlRU with no Crips. Okay. No Crips. And the first cat that was representing the Crip side that came in the door was Domino. Okay. Right. But you gotta understand, some of these cats weren't really active gang members. What you mean? Most of them were. Okay. Right. Okay. But there was a couple of cats that Ronnie chose just because they had good rhyming skills. Okay. Right. And they became guilty by association, for lack of a better word. Okay. Right. My girl Nene. What was Nene's name? Nene X. But she was Bloody Mary on this album, right? On the album that we're referring to. Okay. She wasn't an active gang member. She ended up being one though. Wow. Right. From the experience, she chose a side. Right. Okay. So it was a lot of people that were really active gang members, and it was a couple that weren't, right? When David, I think if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong with this, but I'm thinking Tweety called Cluso, and Cluso brought Battle Cat to the table. But like that was 92, man. That was a lot of weed and a lot of beer ago, you know what I'm saying? And so how was the vibe, man? The vibe was really cool. It was some tension at first, okay, right? But everybody knew what the agenda was. Okay. And everybody acted cool. There were no altercations on that first record that I know of because I left the record kind of early. There was a situation, it got kind of tense. Like one time, the one thing about that record what was really great was that it was some classic bagging sessions. Okay. Like it was jokes, right? And sometimes them jokes hit home, you know, and I told Stretch from Bounty Hunters, I told Stretch, we got to one of them little bagging sessions. I said, nigga, you can't rap gifts, nigga. And he got hot, right? And he pulled a pistol on me. What? Yeah, the pistol was about this big. Okay. But it had a clip Like, he said, nigga, you better be glad I'm trying to rap, nigga, because I'm a real gangster, nigga, and I'll kick your door in, and whoop, 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 whoop. And I looked at that nigga, I said, man, I can't even get you to give me a ride home, because you asked me where I live. I told you where I live. You said, shit, I ain't going over there, so miss me. We just put the pistol away and shit, right? That nigga owe me $100 too. Stretch, I need that $100. I hit him for $100 in crap game.
Oh, no shit.
But it was Ronnie's money.
Okay.
And Jay Shanklin interceded, one of the producers. So it was when the record first started, the producing staff basically was Cat, Jay Shanklin, Geek and Noise from Five Deuce Villain, Clouseau, Box. This is all very long ago though, man. Y'all gotta work with me. One thing that struck me about this particular situation was, I remember when we first fired up the mic, and it was Stretch and Little Joe from Compton, from South. I think it was from Southside,
okay,
right, from over there, and they went to banging, and I stopped the tape. So I stopped the tape, and I looked at Ronnie, and I said, Ronnie, do we really want this, man? I said, we should do this. We should approach this a little differently, right? As opposed to them banging on each other like that, we should be talking about why this happened and what we can do to prevent it from occurring again. But it went straight head-to-head violence, and I knew then that shit was headed for a fucking disaster, right? And I carry a burden of guilt for this record. Me and OG Sinloke was talking about this too, because Sin was there. Sin was one of the first Crips to walk in the door. And with the Freddy Krueger mask and shit, and that nigga scared the shit out of me. And I'm from the streets. I was like, I don't want to fuck with that nigga right there, right? So, but me and Sin was just talking about this, and we carry a burden of guilt for that record, dude.
What do you mean, burden of guilt?
Well, before we did that record, there were no Bloods in Tennessee, or no Crips in Philly. There was no Bloods in New York, no Crips in Detroit. That didn't exist. When we did that record was so hot, it took gangbanging global, right? We started getting fan mail from Brussels, from European dudes, white cats. Like, I'm down with the Crips, I'm down with the Bloods. It was that influential. They did the Maury show, right?
Oh, no shit.
Yes. I was supposed to go, but I didn't really, I had mixed emotions about being a part of that record. And once I did that record, by the way, it cost me a lot of high profile clients.
No shit.
Yes, it did.
Like who?
I hate to mention names, but you know, I was working with some pretty influential people.
Why do you think they stopped messing with you?
Because I was affiliated with niggas that was robbers and gangbangers. Now, you know, they assume, but always been these niggas that they were scared of, but I just never was like that with them. And when I did that record, I stopped getting them calls.
No shit.
No shit.
Did it ever come back around, or did it just?
Yeah, it came back around to me. Like I ran into someone at an event, and I was like, "Yo, you just cut me off, nigga. What's happening?" He said, "Man, you know, you kind of spooked us with that banging shit."